Hi, I'm Wayne Allen Root for Personal Liberty. There are a lot of things you can change in life, but you can't fix stupid. Barack Obama's speech last night wasn't a State of the Union, it was a state of denial. It was denial mixed with delusion. It was a state of addiction to spending. It was a modern-day fairy tale in the middle of a Great Depression. It was let's sing Kum-Ba-Ya and hold hands while we solve the world's problems with money we don't have speech. It was insanity squared. Here's how Obama solves problems. You got to listen to this. In the middle of a Great Depression, he wants to raise the minimum wage by almost $2 an hour. Delusional, insanity, like a Saturday Night Live skit. In the middle of a Great Depression, he wants to raise taxes again, only days after he just raised them dramatically. In Obama's world, we raise taxes every few weeks. In the middle of a Great Depression, with our government $100 trillion in debt, he wants to spend money on a long wish list of leftist fairy tales, from early childhood education to infrastructure to green energy to climate change to more government employees to redesigning high schools to, get this one, eradicating poverty around the world. We're broke with $100 trillion in debt, and he's worried about poverty around the world. 1 in 3 Illinois residents lives in poverty. Maybe Obama should worry about his own state before he tackles world poverty. Denial and delusion. Obama says we're seeing progress, we're in recovery, we have jobs, we have cleared away the rubble of debris. His words. We have a strong State of the Union. I guess he wants you to forget the fourth quarter GDP that just came in was negative. Our economy is in contraction, and 11,000 Americans join the food stamp rolls every day. This isn't a recovery, it's a disaster. Denial and delusion. Obama said jobs are doing better. I guess that depends on your definition of better. According to data from Bloomberg, from December of 2011 to January 2013, non-farm payrolls were down 587,000. We lost almost 500,000 jobs in the last year. Denial and delusion. And with a loss of over 500,000 jobs and 8.5 million Americans dropping out of the workforce since Obama became president, and the real unemployment number, U6, government's own number at almost 15%, Obama closed his job council last week. They hadn't met in a year. Now that the election's over, they just closed it down. Why would we need to talk about jobs anymore? Denial and delusion. But it all fits perfectly with Obama's claim in the State of the Union we can create so many middle-class jobs with wind, solar, and other green energy. Complete denial of the fact that Spain is the green energy capital of Europe, yet their economy has collapsed, with 26% unemployment and 56% youth unemployment. The proof is in, there are no green jobs. Denial and delusion. Obama said we sold a lot of cars last year. What he didn't tell you was that your tax money propped up those sales. Federal government purchase of cars up by over 70% last year. It's all government. We now live in a one-company town. Denial and delusion. Obama also gloated about the housing recovery. So let's see. If your home went from 500,000 down to 100,000, but in the past year it soared up to 125,000, Obama gloats and declares victory. But the homeowner? Bankrupt, underwater, and in foreclosure. That lousy $25,000 increase versus a $400,000 loss during Obama's first term just isn't very helpful. Denial and delusion. And to celebrate a housing recovery while demanding the end to what Obama calls loopholes must be some kind of joke on the American people. That loophole that Obama refers to, that's our mortgage deduction. He wants to take it away in the middle of a housing collapse already worse than the peak of the Great Depression, thereby causing another housing collapse. We'd all lose 40% of the value of our homes overnight if our mortgage deduction was eliminated. Denial and delusion. But the funniest claim of all was Obama stating that he's already cut $2.5 trillion from the budget. We're halfway home, he said. This is Chris Rock funny. Nothing was cut. The fiscal cliff deal just added $4 trillion to the national debt. The few tiny cuts that were made were revealed by the Office of Management and Budget to be money that was never going to be spent anyway. Obama actually cut nothing. Zero, zip, nada, not a dollar of a real program. The man who promised to cut the deficit in half, but instead doubled it, who called George W. Bush a disgrace and unpatriotic for adding $4 trillion to the national debt in 8 years, but who added $6 trillion himself in only 4 years, that same guy says we're halfway home to solving our debt problem. Denial and delusion. The same man who thinks the sequestration that cuts only $85 billion out of a $3.5 trillion budget is, get this, harsh, devastating, and reckless. That man claims he's going to solve our debt problem. He thinks more debt spent on green energy and early childhood education is going to get us halfway home. Denial and delusion. Hell of a plan, but when you raise the minimum wage for millions of employees, the businesses they work for raise prices for all the rest of us. Picture Walmart, Target, and every retailer in America raising prices by 15% in the middle of a Great Depression to pay for Obama's minimum wage increase. Great for all of us. Then watch the Obama economy continue on its death spiral. Obama's State of the Union was a state of denial, proving that you could change a lot of things in this world, but you can't fix stupid. I'm Wayne Allen Root for PersonalLiberty.com. See you next week. Same time, same place. God bless America.